I'm Alex Morash, and let's grip the USA view. Arlington, Texas becomes first U.S. city to reverse LGBTQ protections. Arlington, Texas has become the first U.S. city this century to roll back existing LGBTQ anti-discrimination protections. In a narrow 5-4 vote, the City Council approved a revised ordinance stripping gender identity and expression and sexual orientation from its anti-discrimination policy. Until now, the ordinance had shielded queer residents from, quote, any direct or indirect exclusion, distinction, segregation, limitation, refusal, denial, or other differentiation, end quote, in employment, housing, healthcare, and other services. The protections had been suspended since August after threats from Donald Trump's administration to revoke $65 million in federal grants if diversity, equity, and inclusion language remained in city codes. Arlington and nearby Fort Worth then voted to eliminate their DEI programs. Advocates say the council ignored solutions that would have protected both funding and residents. A spokesperson for the Help Center for LGBTQ+ Health said, quote, for months, the public was told that the September suspension of Arlington's anti-discrimination charter was necessary to protect federal grant funding. That issue was fully resolved. The revised ordinance presented tonight, drafted by the city attorney, protected every dollar of federal funds while restoring long-standing safeguards for all Arlington residents, women, men, children, minorities, veterans, people with disabilities, and the LGBTQ community, end quote. Still, LGBTQ advocates vow continued organizing, saying the fight for protections is far from over. This is such a bizarre story because there are many municipalities and states that have LGBTQ protections and they didn't lose their federal funding. But also, you know, it was $65 million in funds that they could lose. And many people say that, like, oh, funding, that money means so much. One, I don't think money is everything. And two, the city has a $750 million budget. So, like, yes, you might have to tighten your belts allegedly to keep the funding, but you could make it work.
Well, I mean, there are two factors here, or at least one factor, is that Arlington, Texas. So, for example, if let's say the California cities stand firm against the anti-DEI thing, if the federal funding doesn't come, Gavin Newsom will write the check. The problem is that here, Governor Hot Wheels and Ken Paxton will probably piss on your city and take away their state funding too. So for them, I can understand it. They're trapped in the rock and a hard place because it's Texas. It's arch conservative, gerrymandered to completely red, and with no hope of actually getting any kind of extra help from the state government itself.
I think precisely because places like Texas and Florida are the places that you have to stand up the most.
No, I agree.
And like, you know, how far do people go? You know, first it's like, oh, well, we're not gonna, we'll take away these discrimination laws. Well, what next? If the federal government said you had to, like,
segregation,
sacrifice your firstborn every year for a little bit of money, like, would the town do it then too? Like, what's the limit with this craziness?
Oh, like they will do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They'll do it. Don't underestimate the power of the crowd psychosis.
Don't we have towns in Florida that have anti-discrimination laws for LGBT? Have they lost all their funding?
No, and they got repealed. I mean, in 1970s, Anita Bryant managed to repeal the LGBTQ protection from Miami-Dade County.
But didn't they get it back in the 90s?
Yeah, way after.
They still enacted today. I mean,
they are still there today.
Needed it for some federal reason. I don't understand what Arlington, Texas.
I have no idea.
They need to do this about.
I have no idea. I mean, this is one of those things that got buried in the town code and state constitutions and city charters. I don't have time to read all of it. You know.
Well, I mean, hopefully the folks that have been impacted by this in Arlington do rise up and, you know, counter this. You know, it may take a while.
Hopefully 5 people in Arlington, Texas will be retired soon.
we all have a megaphone these days. I mean, it means social media, TikTok, you know, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. If you face discrimination, don't be afraid to say it out loud to the TikTok, to people that will know that to avoid, you know.
Good point.
Yeah. And there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.